Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Desperate Souls, Dark City, and the Legend of Midnight Cowboy. And this documentary from director Nancy Bierski focuses on the era that created the perfect storm to create such an iconic and bold and rebellious Best Picture winner in Midnight Cowboy. And this film opens up with Jon Voight talking about how he got this role and the impact of this film, and there's some really great moments in terms of the commentators that they have throughout this documentary. Voight gives a lot of interesting perspective. You have Bob Balaban, who has a small role in the film, John Schlesinger, who directed the film, who brings in so much from his own backstory into this film. And you have all those elements adding so many layers to the creation of this film. But this documentary is more than just this film. And at first I thought this was a bit too all over the place. But in summation, I do feel like it really pulls together and captures a cultural shift more than just the importance of this singular film, but this film as an anchoring force in that rebellious shift. Because we do see Warhol, we do see Vietnam, we see all these changing shifts and things in cinema, from how the Western evolved into things like The Wild Bunch, how we got films like Easy Rider, and how this film shifted so powerfully from, just years earlier, Sound of Music winning Best Picture, which is a significant and amazing film, but it's so old Hollywood, to this film that completely deconstructed the expectations of what film can do and what Hollywood would be willing to put out there. And this film, probably more for some political issues or cultural issues, received an X rating instead of an R rating. And the context of that and the significance of that and how this film still succeeded so powerfully even though it had an X rating. This is such an impactful film. The Midnight Cowboy in this documentary really captures the underlying elements that really brought that film together. And overall, this is quite an interesting engagement with a complete cultural reshaping of America. And this film does it in such an impactful and insightful way that I love each and every moment of this film. It does feel like it could be wandering at times and might not be the most focused of documentaries out there. But when it really comes down to it, each of these pieces, these different areas that it focuses on, comes together to create a larger scheme and perspective on what cinema can be and the impact of one film and what it meant for the evolution of cinema. But those are my thoughts on Desperate Souls, Dark City, and the Legend of Midnight Cowboy. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.